we're going to be constructing perpendicular lines through some different points. So we've already worked with the perpendicular bisector construction. So in this case, we're creating a perpendicular line that goes through the midpoint of a segment. So we've already dealt with a construction like this, but we were specific in the point that we were going through here. From what we know already, we only know how to construct it through the midpoint. So we're going to be constructing through different points now. So an important fact to remember is that perpendicular lines are two lines that always form four right angles at their intersection point. So get in the habit of labeling these in your construction. So what that means is, for example, if I know for a fact that these two lines here are perpendicular, I can go ahead and label these four right angles. However, if you have a case like this where these two lines are perpendicular, you don't have to label all four, just labeling this one is sufficient. Or if you have something that looks like this, where you have that this line here is perpendicular to this bottom line, you don't need to label all four, but you might see these three different cases where we have perpendicular lines. So the symbol for perpendicular lines kind of looks like what we have over here. So it's like an upside down T, and it looks like two perpendicular lines. So it reads AB is perpendicular to CD. All right, first things first, you guys are going to follow along with this construction where we're going through a point on the line. So we are constructing a line that is perpendicular to this line here, and we are going to make sure that that line goes through a point that lies on our line, which is, in this case, what you see there. So first things first, we have to make a reference or two reference arcs. So our reference arcs, again, can be of any size. However, we need to make sure that they are intersecting our line 2 times. So I'm going to make one on this side, and then if I go over to my other side, I'm going to make that arc again. Now, in this case, I got lucky. However, if I went a little bit shorter on my reference line, the arc wouldn't intersect, but that is no big deal because guess what? You can always extend your line, and I'm going to do this in green just so you can see that it's an extension. You can always extend your line that you're given so that your reference arc can touch your line. So if it was the case where you decided to make your reference arc a little bit smaller or a little bit wider, it would intersect here, right? And then when you go to make it on the other side, you would have an issue. You're like, oh no, it doesn't intersect. No worries. All you need to do is take your straight edge and extend your line, and then you're good. All right, so you want to now mark the points where we are intersecting. Now, essentially what we're doing is just pretending that the rest of the line doesn't exist. I am only looking at the segment in between my two intersection points. Because guess what? Now all you need to do is do the bisector construction, pretending like this is your entire segment. So from your intersection point, you're going to make sure that you are any value more than halfway. And then you're following the construction of doing a segment bisector or a perpendicular bisector. So you have to make your arcs here, and then you can go to your other intersection point. You would make your arcs again. Here we have our two intersection points. And then all you need to do is take your straight edge and connect. And you want to make sure that your line goes through that point. If for some reason I had a line that went like this, I know I made a mistake somewhere because it should go through point P. All right. So the next one that we're going to do is if we want to construct a perpendicular line that goes through a point that's not lying on the line that we're given. So in this case, our point's going to be out here. So our first step, as always, when we're doing constructions, is we need to make a reference. And in this case, we're going to make a reference arc. Now, we'll do this in red. We want to make sure that our reference arc touches our line, you can probably guess it, 2 times. So no matter the width that I choose to use, I like to go like close to the line, and it helps me like, I'm going to use this width, and we can use trial and error here. So here's my arc, and I want to make sure it intersects my line twice. And I run into a similar issue. Oh my goodness, it does not run into my line twice. Well, guess what? you can just take your straight edge and extend your line so that it does. Now I'm going to mark my 2 intersection points here. We have one here, and we have one here. And now we are again pretending that the rest of the world does not exist. We are just pretending that in between these 2 intersection points, that's the segment that we are pretending that we're working with. So then from there, all you need to do is bisect your fake segment. So we are bisecting the segment in between our 2 intersection points here. Now again, just open up your compass more than halfway and make your arcs. So go this way, and then your needle's going to go on your other intersection point here. You're going to make those arcs again. And then last but not least, you take your straight edge and you simply connect. Now again, you can self-check. We know our line should be going through point P, and if it doesn't, you know that you've done something wrong. Now, one thing I forgot to do in the other construction was label our right angles here. So make sure that you are labeling your 4 right angles, and you should do that in this one as well.